Hello, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But then any day could be a good day, particularly when you're an online entrepreneur. And today I've been really knocking out a bunch of things that I think of not only of value to me, but value to my friends and my family. However, it didn't quite start out, the day didn't quite start out the way I wanted. It doesn't mean, it's a bit cold out there today, I'm kind of bundled up, and I'm definitely a sun worshiper. So, I'm quite ready for spring and summer to kind of kick on in, and the winter here is just, it's not anything other than just gray, so it's a bit grim. But more just that the other day, I went over to someone's house, and, they kind of, they wanted to catch a game and kind of got on TV, and, and we were kind of hanging out, and just, after the game, bit of channel surfing and whatever. Anyway, I was like, it was an okay game. I mean, I'm kind of off that stuff now, but occasionally, I'll catch something if it seems to be all right. It was more just to hang out with my friend. It was really strange. I got home. It was kind of late. I know that, adrenaline kicks in with a bit of wee hours of the morning. But I was, I really had a tough time going to sleep, and I was really agitated, and I was kind of like, normally, I felt tired. I should have just been able to keel over and just, sleep. And I didn't really sleep for a long time, and, of course, the occasional thing, and yet I knew I was tired, and I was like, okay, it's all good. It's obviously I've been, just busy, and, adrenaline's kicked in and going into overdrive. And then I did get to sleep, and actually when I realized later that when I got to sleep, it wasn't that late. It just felt that it was that late. And I got up normally like I have to, around, a little bit before 7 to kind of get all the youngsters up and at 'em and get myself up and at 'em and, in a reasonable, kind of calm, nice, happy fashion. And, I kind of got out of bed, and I kind of went out there and splashed my face in the morning, had a nice, the usual kind of morning things that people do. And, the kids kind of doing their thing, all buzzed and their energy up, and kind of really rising to kind of like the morning of the day. And I was just glum. I was just down. And the whole day, well, at least up until about midday, it felt, I just couldn't quite get in gear, and I thought, well, it's because I didn't sleep well that night. But again, when I checked it, it's like I did not have good sleep, but at least lengthwise. But I didn't have good sleep because, from what I could gather, is I just had some just garbage input into my head. Lately I've been doing a lot of other things. I have been, I don't watch a lot of TV. It's not my thing anymore. I never really have been, though. When I've gone through my phases, it was more just like a cultural thing, because having grown up overseas, it's not something I ever grew up with. I was more into, doing things and engaging and creating things and being a bit more like hanging with friends as opposed to just channel surfing. And that's really all I could really, that's all I could really put my finger on, is like, why am I feeling so, I ate well, I drank a bunch of water, I got a reasonable amount of sleep. I shouldn't feel so out of it, like things just went sideways on me. And I could only come up with that it was TV. I just, and the way it made me feel, it's like, you kind of go through a detox of, go through a fasting of, getting rid of all that kind of gunk that one can take on board in the modern day diet. All this fast food, which I, occasionally took on, but not really. But even, when going through thinking, well, a few too many biscuits, maybe a few too many lattes and all that in the past, I kind of gotten rid of that stuff and cleaned up a little bit and been more active, been try to be more healthy. And that's what it felt like. Like all of a sudden, there I was. All of a sudden I'd gone out and just like I'd eaten a tub of Haagen-Dazs or something. I was just like, it was all gluey, and my mind was not sharp. I felt like I'd just been kind of like just, I was on a downer, man. It just really didn't feel right. So I had to, do some exercise and kind of get my oxygenate the brain and eat a pile of fruit and stuff and kind of get that good stuff going again, live food. And then I got back into reading some good stuff, and I did a bit of kind of a meditative sit, and then kind of fed my mind to some good stuff, and kind of doing these mindset calls that I've been doing lately, and kind of refreshing things that basically the input that was coming into my brain. And then later on in the day, I didn't necessarily feel 100% because it was like, I felt like I'd kind of come over as like a bad hangover in a way, but I felt a lot better. And it just came to me that basically, the reason I wanted to kind of share on this video is because, I look at I'm a dad, I'm a parent, I look at the input of what comes into my kids, what they get at school, what I have to sometimes get them to learn or unlearn when they come home. That's just life. I could isolate them completely and do home education, which I think is great. But, there's a world out there that I also want them to be able to engage with and hopefully, and make better and change with their whole uniqueness. So I don't want to remove them completely, but I also kind of check out what goes into them. So based on that, it's also what I look at, what goes into me, and so on and so forth. And mine, by all means, far from anywhere near where I'd like to be. That's part of my journey. But definitely this whole thing of garbage in, garbage out. Really. And so, like, when I started putting the good stuff back in the next day, I started to feel really good again. It started to kind of fire my synapses better. It started to, which then fed through, and I could just see it pulsating through. And it sounds kind of corny, but it definitely is. This whole thing of, it's TV. It's bullshit, man. It's really not good for you. And what they just pump into us, and we get it on billboards, but with TV, it just seems to really get in there that we're just. And many of us know about it, but, after a long day, it just seems so kind of nice. Catch a movie instead. And not to say that there isn't, like, product placement and stuff like that in films, but just it's kind of slightly different going on than what's happening, in just rapid-fire TV land. Anyway, my point here is that there's some great stuff going on in the world today. People are really active. People are re-engaged. There are people out there who are actually not doom and gloom, who are actually really positive, who are doing some amazing things, who really are empowered and really want to kind of, share that with others. There's a whole kind of, trying to, readjust and change the frequency and empower themselves so that sharing that, the rest of the world is getting empowered as well. These online activities where the internet just, leveraging the power of the internet is amazing. It's not just marketing, it's not just about the money that one can make online. It's about the reach of sharing a really good, valuable, and empowering message. And that's kind of what attracted me to going online. But yeah, basically my point is get rid of the IdiotBox. There's the warning, get rid of it, man. That's it. That's the alarm. If you can hear it, get rid of the IdiotBox. Cause that's really is. It just turns your brain to mush. And get some good input. And there's some fantastic input out there where there's like mindset calls that are live, people are engaged, people are doing things where they're not only just making money, but they're connecting as a community and helping each other and refocusing themselves and sharing that. And at the same time, whether one agrees with the whole thing about money, but the point is money is just a vehicle, a means to something else. There's some people that have some high power vision that are also making a pile of money and then going and using that pile of money to do some really good things. And I can't stress enough that, make a decision, make a choice, change all that. We can look around us at the evidence of that that didn't work. Whatever it is, it's not working. So all this stuff that's being pumped into us, all this propaganda, if you will, all this messaging, all this negative, it's being pumped into us and it's being ingrained to us. And if it comes down and you hear it and see it on the playgrounds, you hear it in the park, you hear it in the pub, you hear it on the street, on the buses, it's just, there are a bunch of people and more people who are saying, hey, look, this ain't it. And so if you know this, and I'm not saying anything new to you, then share it even more out there. Really, let's get out there and change the world. I'm like on the soapbox, let's start a revolution. No, I'm just saying, hey, I not just the world that I live in, but I've got kids, and they're going to have kids, and I had a good time growing up without a TV, and so I'd really like to share that with you. So, if you really want to connect with some awesome people who are doing some amazing things, there's a great event that's coming up in Chicago in April 19th to the 21st. it's get through. Check out the information that I'm sharing with you down below. Get yourself in. Hook up, connect with some amazing people doing some amazing things, and I'd like to see you there too. So forget the TV, leave all that crap at home, and let's get fired up and do something really amazing. Okay, so here it is, Friday. Have a great weekend, and if you've seen this way beyond the weekend, have a great day, great week, great year, and we'll see you out there doing some amazing things. And you know what? Without the shackle of the TV pulling you around or pulling you in. Okay? So, glad to be with you at this time, and, hopefully the sun will come out over the weekend and we can all go run around and have a good time. But on that note, great to hang with you, and we'll see you on the next one.